let me ask you a question. If it's this person and you only want to correct the flaring of their left rib, then from all the exercises in the new marchi or resistance band routines, if you had to pick just one, which would you choose? Well, if your sole goal is to correct the left rib flare, which exercise would you pick? Yina. And how would you use the resistance band? How many bands? Just one. And how would you use it? Mima. Would you hold it in place and have them breathe, or would you press down as they exhale? A lot of people choose to press down as the person exhales, but actually you should first have them stay still and then press down. Don't just start pressing right away. If you press immediately, there's no intra-abdominal pressure yet, and you might easily activate their oblique or rectus abdominis muscles. So have them hold the position first before doing anything else. Now, if this person only has a more pronounced hump on the right side and there's no obvious rib flare on the left, which exercise would you choose then? You chose the new Masiti, right? Very good. Today is the third day. You will find that you have learned more and more actions. Now, I will teach you how to control these actions in your hands. When you encounter a choice, you will be confused. You may choose a tool that is not the most suitable. You actually have a better tool. That is to say, I ask you to unscrew this screw now. You choose a pair of pliers. Can you unscrew this screw? Yes, if you have strong strength, you can pull it out by pinching it, but you will damage the furniture. Do you understand? The tool you choose can also achieve the ultimate goal. But what? The cost is not the same. Some students have also said, "Teacher, for most people with scoliosis or rib flaring, the flaring only appears when they're standing. When they lie down, it collapses back in. So if we practice while lying down, isn't the duration of support too short?" What you're saying isn't wrong, but why are you in such a hurry? If this person can't even draw it in while lying down, don't expect them to be able to do it while standing. Do you understand? Right? They're simply not qualified yet. They're not ready to practice standing. That's why you must first have them practice lying down for a period of time before moving on to sitting or standing exercises. Do you remember that lower diaphragm position where you couldn't push it up while standing because the weight of your internal organs presses down on it? How could you possibly push it up? So you can only practice lying down. But when you practice lying down, as soon as you turn over, it might go back again. Still, I need to first return it to its original position and then immediately practice again. Isn't that good? So everything needs to follow a sequence. That's why almost every client you have now needs to start by practicing while lying down. Because they're not yet ready to practice standing. They can't do standing exercises yet. Standing practice comes later, after they've trained in earlier stages. If you have them practice standing too soon, they'll start compensating with the wrong muscles. Moreover, practicing while standing requires a lot of different things. For example, you need good stability in your feet. You need to be able to shift your center of gravity over. You need solid support on this side, and your pelvis needs to be stable. There are just so many requirements, and all of these factors can affect your final training results. Since everyone's foundation is different, the outcomes of your training can vary greatly. But when you practice lying down, it's much better. You can filter out a lot of these variables. However, the biggest issue with lying down is that while you see results quickly, you also lose them quickly. That's because you're just positioning the body. I'm putting them into this position, and once they stand up, the mechanics of their body change. Its gravity changes, and on top of that, it moves. So after you have them lie down and return to this position, you must let them stabilize in that position. Only when their ability gradually improves should you start introducing new knowledge and have them do other things. That's the only way it works. So breathing is a major undertaking. This is why I say that if you just sit there meditating and practicing breathing your whole life, I can responsibly tell you that you will never master breathing because you've spent your entire life just sitting there. Because people who practice breathing are not like you. Other people can't spend decades sitting in meditation. They have to work, they have to play sports, they have to exercise. So the things you teach when applied to others just don't work because you're not doing the things they do. That's why I say that the methods developed by physical therapists around the world are actually suitable for non-manual laborers, for people who sit for long periods. Because they themselves have never lifted hundreds of kilograms. They've never run a marathon, so they can't truly experience it. They can only imagine it. If what you design is based on imagination, do you really want to apply it to everyone? So don't get obsessed, don't idolize any so-called master, and don't get caught up in any effects I demonstrate on stage. That's just returning things to their original state. It's just a trick. But what I'm telling you is the underlying logic. If you want to make this effect stable, you'll need to put in a lot of effort afterward. All right, so what do I like about teaching? I don't like giving you the answer directly, because if I do, you might stay confused your whole life. I prefer to guide you, to change your way of thinking, not just your movements. And now I'm tossing the ball back to you. I want you to design a standing improvement. Training for flared ribs and a hunchback. How would you design it? What would you do standing up? Now, if I add another layer, how could you design something that improves both the flared ribs on the left side and the hunchback on the right side? How would you approach that? How would you use a resistance band while standing? Has anyone thought of a way? If you have, raise your hand. Let me see. You come up here. Show me how you would do it standing up. Let's see what kind of movement this master has come up with. Let's see, family. Okay, show me how you would do it. Go ahead, let me see. Yes, that's the highest point. Then you do this movement. Okay, but doing it this way will actually make the flared ribs on the left side worse. Your reaction is getting quicker. Sit down. Do it like this. Yeah, that's right. Use your strength like this. Does this work? Why doesn't this work? What he's thinking is that this way he can close the ribs on the right side, right? But at the same time, this will also open up the left side because there's a backward extension involved. Do you understand? So that's not acceptable. If you keep practicing like this, you'll end up getting hurt. Now, let me take a look at this person. Let's see this designer. What do you call yourselves now? You call yourselves body designers?
So, the premise is to let this side...
Just sit down, just sit properly. You don't need to explain it to me. Sit down and everyone will understand.
This side. And then this side, right,
Like this, just stay like this. Is this okay? In other words, you can think of it as taking that sitting posture and I open it up and turn it into a standing one. Is that acceptable? That's getting a bit closer. But what's the problem with doing it this way? It's that there will always be a pulling force like this. If the right leg is out, the left leg is like this, and the left hand is pulling this way, then for the right leg, that's a positive force. But for the left side, I don't want it to open up like that. I want it to push forward.
So that means pushing.
If you push your right leg, it'll mess things up. Come on, you give it a try. Your lever arm is too long like this. It's uncontrollable. Also, if your left leg doesn't have any support to begin with, it'll end up stretching out even more. And doing it this way, your spine is extended so the left side can't close. Since you're leaning against the wall, you're definitely extending. Do you understand what I mean? Leaning against the wall means your front is open, right? What are you trying to do? Are you trying to rush forward? Come on, come on. Our Miss Fitness runner-up.
Right now, at the moment.
You're doing a dynamic movement. You're practicing lateral raises, bend over lateral raises. No, what I want you to do now is breathing, not muscle training. Why are you just staying in that position?
First of all, next time, you need to adjust its rotational lever arm. That way, you can close off the front left side, right?
Okay, so in that case, you can close the back and open the front.
Then why are you raising your right hand so high like that? If I have you stay like that and breathe for 2 or 3 minutes, won't you get tired? Your arm is like this, but other members don't have muscles as strong as yours. All right, that's enough. Let me take a look at this one. As soon as you all come up and do the movement, I can tell. When I teach this class, how well do you digest, understand, and absorb it? So is this okay? Is it all right? What they mean is that your right side doesn't seem to be rotated back enough, and your left side doesn't seem to be rotated forward enough, right? Is that what they mean? All right, let me give you a hint. What is this? This is a sculpture. But look at the direction of this sculpture. Doesn't this direction make the right side close even tighter? Is it always the right hand that supports the chin? When the right hand supports the chin, doesn't that mean the right side is closed? There's a saying here, the mirror image of the master. What does mirror image mean? It means the opposite. How do you do the opposite? Can you stay like this? If you told me earlier you were going to take a photo, I would have sat in a cooler pose. Wait a second, let me flex my triceps. All right, at this point, you give him a chair so he can sit down. Once he can do it well while sitting, take the chair away and it becomes standing. So may I ask, which side should he shift his center of gravity to? Right, his center of gravity, you can't do it like this, you can't do it like this. Sit over here, your center of gravity is on this side. At this point, your weight is supported on the left side. Then you close off your left side, open up your right side, and you're sitting on the chair. While sitting, you gradually lift yourself up a bit at a time, and eventually it turns into standing like this. All right, let me find that lady with the hunchback. Come on, let's continue and see if we can straighten you out today. There's still a bit left. Did you understand how we positioned things just now? Come on, turn to the side. That's right. Come on, you've been watching for a while. Yes. Yes, push this out a bit. Then your center of gravity is here. Your center of gravity is here. Your leg should be like this, a bit forward. That's it. Then yes. This hand can be placed here. Yes, just like this, just like this. That's right, just like this, with your weight pressed on this side. So how can I get your weight to shift to the other side? I give it a slope on the outside, give it a slope, and then it shifts to the opposite side. Just like that, it moves to the other side. And then don't bend your waist so much. That's right. All right, just stay like this. Yeah, support yourself. That way you won't get so tired. Then breathe out here. Inhale, exhale. In a moment, the left side of your buttock and the inner side of your left thigh will feel especially sore because all the support is on this side. So after you do this properly, even if you don't train the upper part, there might be negative pressure on the left side. Think about it, your hand. Now I need to help him correct something. I want him to lower his hand a bit. Why lower it? Because his shoulders are uneven in height. Which shoulder should I have him lower? That's right. We should have him lower his left shoulder. So put your hand here. If you do it like this, your right shoulder moves forward and your left shoulder moves back. That's fine. But if your left shoulder is higher than your right shoulder, then that's wrong. I want him to lower his left shoulder and raise his right shoulder. That's the correct way to do a left side bend. So this elbow needs to be higher and more to the left side. That way it forms a left side bend with a rotation. Then you shift your weight from the right to the left. And once you're in this position, just exhale and that's it. What I want is for him to rotate more, not to stretch more. Do your left leg and hip feel sore? Right, that's correct. The left hip, the inner side of the left thigh, the semitendinosus and semimembranosus muscles inside the hamstrings. He's asking if your lower back feels sore, not sour. Normally, I should have given him a chair, but since I saw he's young, I didn't give him one. All right, that's good. Okay, now return to the center, face everyone, and then do a rightward rotation of your thorax. How does that feel? Good. Now do a rightward side bend of your thorax. How is it? Good. Now turn your back to everyone. Now bend forward. Oh, well now, let's see. All right, stand up a bit taller. This is his scapula. Extend your right hand forward a bit more. Right hand down, toward the ground. Pull your scapula down. That's where his ribs are. Did you hear that? You can't pull the ribs down, but you can pull the scapula down. In other words, the middle fingers of both your hands should be pointing toward the ground. Yes, both pointing down. The middle finger of your right hand should point to the ground, pulling the scapula so it sticks to your back. At this point, what stands out is truly the rib. Now, like this is his rib. If his scapula on this side pulls back and your finger isn't pointing to the ground, if the scapula pulls back, then at this moment, with the scapula pulled back, this area will be even higher. So when you're testing, you need to make sure his scapula is pressed against his back. This way, what you see is his actual rib. Then first we observe, second we measure the angle. Do I have an inclinometer over there? With an inclinometer, you can measure accurately to 0.1 degrees and then check its function. This is how you assess it. So if he hasn't done the test lying down, don't have him do it sitting or standing. Understood? So when you try this, what do I want you to feel? I want you to feel whether you can shift your weight from the right side to the left and whether you can engage your left hip and the inner side of your left thigh. And in this position, can you breathe at all? Okay.